Hello, my name's Christina, and my question is for each of you. With your second album coming out, I wanted to know at what moment did each of you realize that Velvet Revolver was something really special?
You know, I think it was even before we started writing for this record. It was somewhere out on the Contraband tour. We finally figured out how this band works, the chemistry, the five of us. Not what we couldn't do, but what indeed we actually could do with the five of us. And it's kind of limitless. And so it's somewhere like 4 or 5 months, 6 months in that tour for me. Dave?
Yeah, same.
Well, like Duff said, you know, we toured the Contraband album for 18 months. We went out on the road. We did 4 laps around the United States, about, I don't know how many around Europe, Australia, Japan. We just got back from South America a couple days ago. That was great. But, you know, being on the road and rolling around in a bus together, you get kind of real close. And sometimes you don't want to be that close, but it's like... We had an amazing time out there. It was an amazing journey. But coming back and making this record was a whole different band. You know, we'd grown on the road, and you know, seeing the fans appreciating us and everything, and going into making this record. Yeah, thank you. Going into making this record, there was you know, a lot more depth and a lot more, you know, feelings between us and everything that we'd been through on that Contraband tour. So those emotions, including many others, went into this album. And that's all I have to say about that. Thank you.
It started out with us 4 guys, but when it really kicked into gear is when Scott came in.
Hi, my name is Colleen Rice, and my question is, how has the individual prior successes of each band member served as an aid or a hindrance in the evolution of Velvet Revolver?
Well, you know what, I think that as far as the view of the press was concerned, I think that everyone sort of scoffed at what we were going to be. And although when we kind of came together, we kind of used that as fuel, you know. And everybody had a very similar, we all had the same past, you know. We had a very checkered past. We went through the same kind of experiences in our past band, a lot of drama, a lot of shit, and for a lot of the same reasons, you know, personal stuff, political stuff within the bands, and we had this, and you know, we went through the same, you know, drug experiences with the law, and when you have that kind of background, you go into a situation where you know that you're not going to get judged because you know that the guy on your right, the guy on your left, the guy in back of you has traveled down the same, you know, same alleys, and so, you know, how can you judge somebody who's you know, walked in, you know, the same boots, you know. So there's a trust there, you know, that you can trust that guy and you can trust that guy and the other guys. So that allows you to sort of go into musical directions that maybe you'd be afraid to in another band where you have only been together a short period of time. You know, bands evolve over a period of time, and this band's only been together for, you know, this is our second record, but I think we've done some pretty cool things, you know, in a short period of time.
Past bands. Geez, I've been in a couple. But me and Duff had a really cool experience in New York early on. I think the first Velvet Revolver tour of the States. We were walking down the street in Manhattan, and this dude came out of the subway, and he goes, "Hey, you're Matt and Duff from Velvet Revolver." And at that moment, we both looked at each other, because we'd had that moniker, you know, we'd had that "You're Matt and Duff from Guns N' Roses" going for a while. And it was a really cool moment for both of us. We were like, man, that's the first thing, you know. We didn't realize that you know, at that moment that made that much sense. But now it makes all the sense in the world, you know. it was a really cool time.
What? No. Pipe down. You know, for me, the beauty of it is that, like, I've known Slash since we were in junior high together, and I've known Scott for 20-some years, and the beauty for me is that, you know, I had the checkered past without any of the monetary success from any of my old bands. So now that I have that, it's all gravy, pretty much. So that's my experience.
My name's Simon, and my question's aimed at Slash. Sorry, dude. How the hell is it possible for you to smoke, play guitar, breathe, you know, look so damn cool, without choking, burning your lips, setting fire to your hair? Dude.
Practice.
What if you give up?
Man of a few words. Well spoken.
My name's Chris Becker. My question is for Scott. Scott, compare working with the boys from GNR compared to working with the boys from STP. And for the rest of the band, compare Scott to your former lead singer.
These are very high voltage charge questions. You know what? It's a completely different thing. You can't compare you know, apples and oranges and all those cliches, because I've been very fortunate to have happened upon two amazing situations. You know, it's you know, it's kind of like that same sort of situation where they say that you know, there was this one person that you know, went down in the Titanic and survived, and also went down on another ship and also survived. And what are the odds of that? Well, you know, I happened to meet a group of guys in 1989 or 88, and form a band, and we played clubs, and we wrote really cool songs, and we ended up getting signed in 1991 and made a record, and we had a really good career. And after that, you know, this situation happened, and you know, we wrote really good songs, and we happened to have this great chemistry and play really well together. Like, I mean, amazing, and it just feels right. And what are the odds? Just, I mean, that's like hitting the lottery twice. So it just this doesn't happen. So that's all I really got to say about it. And you know, two totally different bands, completely different bands.
I'll just say one thing about Scott. You know, this guy is a true rock and roll. I mean, he is rock and roll, and he's every cool sense of rock and roll. And the guy was born punk rock, not the kind of punk rock you go and buy at the store or have to think about. He just is, and he's some parts Iggy Pop, some parts David Bowie, most parts his own thing, and it's Scott Weiland, and he's a badass. Want to play? Let's play.
Play some music? How about some music?
We want to play. Okay?
Quit talking about ourselves.
Yahoo!
Hi guys, my name is Mark. By the way, the new songs sound really, really good. And my question is, I'm looking for some suggestions what the fan should do when listening to a new album, and what the best way to listen to it.
I would say loud first, very loud first, you know, and then And then headphones. Check it out in headphones as well, so you can hear everything, in stereo and all the little nuances. I think that's a pretty cool way to do it.
What's up, guys? My name's Adam. I got a question for Scott. On Contraband, it seemed like a lot of the songs were illustrating some of your personal issues that you were going through at the time, but a great record came out of it. What's your thought on the trade-off between personal problems and the inspiration that comes from it?
Well, actually, on this record, there were a lot more songs that were narratives than on any other record before. Because on records in the past, I was so consumed with my own miserable self that there really wasn't much room for anything else to write about. There were, some heavy things that happened for some different guys in the band as well, and so I think the songwriting was influenced by all of that.
Guy's got a Black Sabbath shirt. Dave, I'm going to give this to you.
Go ahead, young man.
Hey, I'm Cameron, and I was wondering what it's like being a real rock and roll band where there's all these emo boy bands going on right now.
Let him have it. Don't hold back. Well, it's interesting because I think that because all of our roots are kind of punk rock, we all kind of came from that. We're all kind of cut from that cloth, and I think that it's just such a genre that lends itself to trouble for some reason. We spend so much time getting in trouble that collectively that I don't think, we'd make the greatest students in school. I don't think any of us did, and I think that in order to be in an emo band, you really have to have good grades. Right? And so I think that's why we're all here. That's it. Yeah. You.
What's up, guys? My name's David Tharp. It's a question for all of you. With selling millions of records and selling out shows all over the world, what keeps you motivated to rock and roll?
Well, I think we're, I heard that. That's good. I think what keeps us motivated also goes in line with what Dave said. It's like, all we know how to do is this, and we're real, like we're a real rock and roll band, and it kind of goes for us. It's just a feeling. I don't think any of us got into this when we were teenagers. Like, oh, I'm going to be rich and famous. It was like about the next song. It was about the next song and the next bottle. Really. I mean, that's how it really started. And that sort of mind frame continues till today. It's just about the next song and next performance. Being in this band with the five of us, the energy and the chemistry is insane. So this is what we do.
Yahoo!